Madam Gracious Kanzeni from Educare TZ. Warmly welcome in our best media, whereby materials are provided but also questions are discussed here in our media. My students, I'm here before you so as we can run on our chemistry subject, and our concern is making the revision. As I've said, we are making discussion of those questions, so we're going to deal with our topic, which is the compound of metal part 2. Hii hapa inakuwa ni kama topic ya 10 katika kidato cha 3. Zimekuwa subdivided part 1 na part 2. Part 1 ilikuwa ni topic ya 8, lakini part 2 ni ina exist kama topic ya 10 katika level ya form 3. So my student, today we're going to start to discuss those questions which appeared there in this topic. Particularly, we're going to start with the exercise number 10.1. The exercise number 10.1, there is several questions. So today we're going to look on the question in number 1. The question in number 1. So make sure you have a good follow-up in your media so as you can benefit the series of this discussed question in a clear way. So question number 1 states that describe any 5 methods that are used to prepare soluble metal chloride in the laboratory. Something you have to note is these compounds of metal part 2, we are dealing with the nitrates, compound ambazo zinahusisha nitrates, lakini pia chlorides as well as sulfate. Kule kwenye part 1 tulikuwa tunaangalia compounds of oxide, hydroxide, hydrogen carbonate, lakini pia na compounds of carbonates. Here we are just looking on the theory concept ambapo ni compound of nitrates, chlorides and sulfate. So mean that hata maswali yetu yatakuwa mebezi hapo kwenye hizo compounds of chloride, sulfate and so forth. So hapa swali la kwanza ni concept ya compound of chloride, ambapo tunaona kwamba tunaambiwa to describe any 5 methods that are used to prepare the soluble metal chloride in the laboratory. Swali letu lina maana gani? The question mean that kuna several ways ambazo zinaweza zikatumika au zikawa employed ili kufanya preparation ya this metal chloride, au tunaweza tukasema compounds of chloride. So here you are just given a limit. Umeambiwa usuggest the 5 methods ambazo zinaweza kuwa ni nzuri, I can say maybe suitable for making the preparation of this metal chloride. Lakini hizo metal chloride make sure are soluble, because sometimes there are soluble lakini pia kuna insoluble. So here amekwambia soluble metal chloride. So my student, tutaenda sasa kuona hizo methods ambazo zinaweza kuwa favored au zinaweza kuwa suitable for making the preparation of the soluble metal chloride. Now here is our responses. Okay, now you can see that methods to prepare soluble metal chloride in the laboratory. Now we can look at a simple introduction. We can see that preparing the soluble metal chloride can be accomplished through several methods. Kwamba tunaweza tukafanya hii kitu kwa kutumia several methods, but each utilizing the different chemical reaction. Kwamba each method inakuwa utilize its chemical reactions, involve its chemical reaction, but the main purpose is to ensure that we prepare those metal chlorides or the compound of chlorides which are soluble in nature. So here are 5 common methods. Sasa tuone hizo common methods, lakini kumbuka swali letu katupa limit, katuambia 5. Okay, so now let us discuss one after another. Specifically, let us start with the first method, which is the reaction of metals with hydrochloric acid. Reaction of metals with hydrochloric acid. Kwamba once the metal react with this hydrochloric acid, obvious tutaenda prepare the metal chloride. Remember, the aim or the purpose is to get what? compound of chloride. Na compound of chloride mean that ni combination of the different element metal with the chlorine ili itengeneze ile compound of chloride, au simply tunasema metal chloride compound. So here kumbe tunaweza tukachukua reaction kati ya metal na hydrochloric acid tukafanya preparation ya metal chloride compound in the laboratory. Anasema kwamba one of the simplest method to prepare the soluble metal chloride is by reacting a reactive metal with the hydrochloric acid. Kwa hiyo hii ni very simple method ambayo inakuwa ni very easy to employ in the laboratory so as we can make the preparation of this compound. Kwa hiyo utaona kwamba the what in order to prepare the soluble metal chloride we have to make a reaction between the reactive metal. Lazima ukizi hiki kigezo kwamba iwe ni very reactive. Kwa hiyo ukichukua the reactive metal, tunajua kwamba reactive metals zinaweza zikawa ni zile ambazo zimeapia kwenye group number 1 alkyl metals, lakini pia kuna group 2 alkyl earth metals. Kwa hiyo unaona kwamba reacting this reactive metal with the hydrochloric acid, it will be the simple way to prepare or to get the metal chloride compound. So when a metal displaces hydrogen from the acid, na kitu unachotakiwa unoti hapa ni kwamba tunavyoongelea ile reactivity, always the more reactive metal can able to displace another metal from a compound, tunasema the less one, kwamba ile ambayo ni most reactive ina uwezo wa kumtoa yule mwingine ambaye ni less reactive kwenye compound, afu yeye ndo aka replace ile position. So you can say that when a metal displaces the hydrogen from the acid, kwamba ile most reactive metal ambayo umereactisha na HCl atakuwa na uwezo wa kumtoa hydrogen kwenye ile HCl compound, na baada ya kumtoa it mean that yeye ndo atakuwa pale. So you can see that it form a soluble metal chloride and it releases hydrogen gas. So you can see that from the HCl once you react with the reactive metal, the metal will displace the hydrogen, na finally tutaenda kupata the metal chloride compound, then tuta release the hydrogen gas, tuta release au tuta form hydrogen as a gas. Kwa hiyo ile metal ambayo ita react na HCl compound, make sure it is reactive. Isika ni less reactive ambayo haitakuwa na uwezo wa kumdisplace yule hydrogen kwenye HCl. It will be difficult to make the preparation of this metal chloride. So now let us see the example. When zinc react with the hydrochloric acid, zinc chloride is produced. Kwamba zinc metal akireact with the HCl ambayo hapa attact kama aqueous compound. So you can see that zinc will displace the hydrogen from this HCl compound. Atamtoa huyu hydrogen, then hydrogen atakuwa produced as a gas, as you see here. Kwamba zinc metal plus HCl which is aqueous, we are going to have the zinc chloride which is aqueous compound, but also we are going to produce the hydrogen gas there. So this is the first method which can be employed so as we can make the preparation of this metal chloride. Cha msingi ni kuprepare hii metal chloride. Okay. Now the second method, kumbuka tumeambiwa 5 method ambazo zinaweza zikatumika. So the second method is the reaction of metal oxides with the hydrochloric acid. Reaction of metal oxide. Mwanzoni tulikuwa tumeangalia reaction of the metal, reactive metal with the HCl. But here we are looking the reaction of metal oxide with the hydrochloric acid. The reaction of metal oxide with the hydrochloric acid. Another method involves the reacting a metal oxide with the hydrochloric acid. The acid react with the oxide to form a soluble metal chloride and water. Kwa hiyo kumbe hii oxide compound ana react na HCl kwenda kututengenezea the metal chloride, lakini pia tunaenda kuform the water molecule. But remember our main concern and our main task is to prepare what? the metal chloride. Kwa hiyo kama kuna uwezekano wa kupata chloride, mean that this is the method ambayo inaweza kuwa employed so as you can able to prepare this metal chloride in the laboratory. So you can see here the good example is copper 2 oxide. Copper 2 oxide react with the hydrochloric acid to produce the copper 2 chloride. So unaona kwamba tutaweza kumprepare nani huyu chloride compound, tutaweza kumpata copper 2 chloride. Na mean that the simple chemical equation which show this preparation, you can see here, this is the copper 2 oxide, so the compound plus 2 mole of HCl, which is aqueous. Obvious, after reacting this, we are going to have the copper 2 chloride, which is the aqueous compound, but also we are going to have the 1 mole of water molecule there. So this is another method ambayo inaweza ikawa ni suitable for making the preparation of those metal chloride compound in the laboratory. But another method, which is the third one, is reaction of metal carbonate with the hydrochloric acid. Reaction of metal carbonate with the hydrochloric acid. So you can see that how metal carbonates ikireact na HCl tunaweza tukapata the compound of chloride or the metal chloride. Now we can see that metal carbonates can also be used to prepare soluble metal chlorides by reacting them with hydrochloric acid. So you can see that this reaction produces a soluble salt. Zingatia kwenye swali letu tulikuwa guided, tulikuwa na option kwamba tuna prepare hizo compound of chloride, yes, lakini a soluble one. Kwa hiyo hii carbonates of metal once react with the HCl, obvious tunaenda kuprepare the soluble salt, water and carbon dioxide gas. Tunaenda kuprepare salt, lakini hiyo salt itakuwa ni in term of chloride, lakini pia hiyo salt ni soluble. Maana kuna some of the salts are insoluble. Lakini hii tunaenda kuproduce the soluble salt. Kwa hiyo tutakuwa tumekidhi, tumesatisfy with our question, tumelai kwenye swali letu. Tumecomply kwenye swali letu kwamba ni tumeprepare the chloride compound au metal of the chloride, lakini pia it is soluble kulingana na swali ambavyo limetutaka tulijibu. So you can see that we are going to prepare or we are going to produce the soluble salt, lakini pia tunaenda kuproduce the water molecule, and finally we are going to produce the carbon dioxide gas. And you have to note that here this reaction of metal carbonates with the HCl, hii ina involve the neutralization reaction. That's why umeona hata product tulizopata are neither acid nor base, kwa sababu tumeona ni carbonate compound and HCl zimereact. Kwa hiyo acid na base obvious tunajua its property when they react together. Kwa hiyo ndio maana tumekuja kuproduce the product of salt, lakini pia tumeenda kupata water, but here also tumeweza kuproduce the gas which is carbon dioxide gas. So now let's see the example. The good example is when calcium carbonate react with the hydrochloric acid. Calcium carbonate, kumbuka tunazungumzia reaction between metal carbonate with the HCl. Kwa hiyo this calcium carbonate tend to react with the HCl. Therefore we're going to have the chloride of calcium is formed along with water and carbon dioxide. Kwa hiyo the main product ambayo sisi tunaiconsider is this chloride compound au the metal chloride which is soluble. Kwa hiyo tunaenda kupata hii salt yetu ambayo ni calcium chloride. So obviously tumejua kwamba ni soluble, lakini pia tumeweza kufit kwenye swali letu ambalo linataka to show how we can prepare this metal chloride compound. So this is the simple chemical equation ambayo ina demonstrate huu mfano wetu wa reaction kati ya calcium carbonate with the HCl. So you can see that 1 mole of calcium carbonate, which is sodium compound, react with the 2 mole of HCl aqueous solution. Therefore, we're going to have the calcium chloride which is soluble salt. That's why hapa unaona imeexist kama aqueous plus water molecule, but also we release this gas ambayo ni carbon dioxide gas. Okay, another method which can be employed so as you can able to make the preparation of this chloride compound is using the double decomposition reaction. Double decomposition reaction. So you can recall yourself, tulisoma the types of reactions, tulisoma is kind of double decomposition, tulisoma decomposition reaction in general, ikawa na hizo some contents, double decomposition, whatever. So here you can see that kumbe kupitia the double decomposition reaction we can able to make the preparation of those metal chloride compound. For instance, you can see that the soluble metal chlorides can be prepared through double decomposition reaction between two soluble salts, where one of the product is an insoluble salt that precipitates out, leaving behind the soluble metal chloride. Kwamba the double double mean that two compounds. So you can see that here unaona kwamba decomposition inatokea kati ya two soluble salt. Two soluble, yani zinakuwa zote ni, kwa mfano kama unakumbuka the concept of double displacement reaction, kwamba ni two soluble compound, zote ni soluble, ni aqueous, lakini once they react, they displace to each other, we are going to have the soluble as well as insoluble, kwa sababu lazima to form the precipitate one. Kwa hiyo kuna nyingine ambayo inakuwa formed ni soluble, lakini pia tuna form insoluble, kama unakumbuka the concept of double displacement. So here, even here we are talking about double decomposition reaction. You can see that the two soluble salt they tend to decompose. For instance, you can see that one of the product is an insoluble salt, lakini pia another one it remain, or we can say that kama ile itatokea insoluble, mean that it give those precipitate properties. At a time you can see that they tend to leaving behind the soluble metal chloride. Kwa hiyo tutapata nyingine ni soluble lakini nyingine ni insoluble. So our main task is to prepare the soluble chloride. Kwa hiyo kwa sababu tunapata hii soluble metal chloride, obvious hii itakuwa ni method ambayo ina fit in the preparation of this metal chloride compound ambazo ni solubles. So now let us see the good example. So example of this double decomposition reaction is, you can see that mixing the sodium chloride solution with the lead 2 nitrate solution. Zote ni solution, zote ni aqueous compound, ni soluble. So you can see that result in lead 2 chloride precipitating out while sodium nitrate remain in solution. So the reaction of this is like this, kwamba sodium chloride ni aqueous plus lead nitrate the aqueous. Obviously we are going to have the lead chloride, lakini pia tunaenda kuwa na sodium nitrate. So to obtain the lead 2 chloride as a soluble product, one would use other reactant that yield lead 2 ion in the solution. Kwa unaona huyu lead chloride hapa ni nini? Ni solid. Lakini kumbuka ile precipitate ile precipitate it will be out. So you can see that ndio maana hapa tumesema to obtain the lead 2 chloride as a soluble product, one will use other reactant that yield lead 2 ions in a solution, ili tuweze kupata hiyo compound ikiwa katika soluble nature. So that is all about this double decomposition reaction. But also the last method which can help us or can be employed to make the preparation of the metal chloride is using the neutralization reaction using soluble bases. Kwamba soluble bases we neutralize them, finally tutaweza kuprepare this compound of chloride ambazo ni soluble. For instance, Neutralization reaction between strong acid and strong bases can also yield soluble metal chloride. When an alkyl soluble base, ambayo sasa ndio hiyo alkyl, react with the hydrochloric acid, it produces a salt ambayo ni metal chloride and water. Kwa hiyo hii ni neutralization, na hii haina tofauti sana kama tulivyoona ile kwamba the metal carbonates with HCl. So example, the reaction between sodium hydroxide, kumbuka hapa tumetumia the strong alkyl or strong base. Sodium hydroxide, it tends to react with the hydrochloric acid, produces the sodium chloride, kwamba this is a common reaction ambayo tunajua kwamba the strong base ina react na HCl, obvious tunaenda kupata neither acid nor base, kwamba hamna acid wala base, kwa sababu tunaenda kupata the aqueous salt here, sodium chloride, lakini pia tunaenda kupata water molecule, na hii tunaita kwamba ni neutralization reaction. So this method illustrates various approaches to synthesizing the soluble metal chloride in the laboratory setting. Kwa hiyo hizo method zote tulizoziona zinaonyesha kwamba kuna uwezo mkubwa wa kuproduce kwenye chemistry. This is synthesizing mean that ni sasa na kuproduce au kuchakata kupata hicho kitu ambazo ni hizo soluble metal chloride in the laboratory setting, katika mazingira ya laboratory. So each relying on the fundamental chemical principles such as displacement reaction, neutralization and precipitation. But this method this is repeated one, ilikuwa ni just conclusion ya hicho kitu ambacho tumekidiscuss kwa ujumla. Then my student, after there I would like to say this marks the end of our session. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a nice moment.